Feels like another nice sunfish. Nice fish. Today is all about summertime bluegills. Oop, settle down, girl. These fish are all over these big weed flats right now. And while a lot of guys are out fishing them deep water, we're up shallow. Relatively shallow. We're in 14 to 16 feet, and these fish are thick. There's a bunch of crappies up here. There's a bunch of bass. There's even a few walleyes here and there. And the tips and tricks we're going through today is going to help you put a lot more of these panfish in the boat. Look at that, got another one. You can always tell because the crappies will just kind of come in. Sunfish usually try to fight to the side and get away. You know, and all we're using today for these panfish is just a small twister tail. This is the same thing we used in the spring when we were catching smallmouth up spawning. And I got it rigged up on 4-pound test and a 7-foot ultralight rod. And this is simple fishing. You don't even need a trolling motor. If you have a little bit of wind, you just let the wind push you across the spot. And the biggest thing is this time of year, especially with crappies, another one. The thing with crappies this time of year is their mouths get really fragile. So when you do get a fish on, don't set the hook on them, just start reeling in. I think this might be a crappie. Oh, perfect. And these fish will get together. Decent little crappie. So you'll have sunfish mixed in with crappies, and there'll be a bass or two in there. We catch a bunch of walleyes every year doing this on these same lures. Fish just, period, they just like cabbage weeds. Cabbage weeds are good homes for larvae and insects, and they got nice shade in them, and they can cool the water down in the shallower water like this. And it'll take a little bit of finding just to find the spots where they'd rather be, because they're not going to be in every piece of cabbage. But once you kind of find these spots, year after year, they're going to be in the same areas. Thick. Yeah, he's fighting pretty good. Tell you what, in this light tackle that we're using today, these fish can put up one heck of a fight. We'll get this guy in, I'll get through what we're going through. Nice little crappie. What we're using, that guy perfect for the table. We just got little twister tails on. There's a 16th ounce jig head with just a little Mr. Twister on the back of it. 4-pound test, 7-foot rod with 4-pound test, like I said, small reel, and it's just covering water. That's the biggest thing. Tubes will work for this, flues will work for this, any of your small little crappie jigs will work. But that's it. This is such a simple system, and I never see anybody doing it around here. Every time I see people crappie fishing in the summer out here, they're bobber fishing, sitting on one spot. And you're wasting so much water sitting on one spot. And being able to move around and cover these big flats by trolling these little jigs, it's just a dynamite way to catch these fish in the middle of summer. So when you're out here looking for these midsummer sunfish, panfish, crappies, whatever it may be, this kind of spots you want to look for are really big flats. And if you look at my graph, all this green, I use the depth highlight on my electronics, and all this green is basically shallow areas, shallow flat that could contain cabbage. So what I'm doing with that is I'm kind of zigzagging across 14 to 17 to 12, and I'm kind of trying to find where the bigger fish schools are. And you can see I'm trolling about 9.9 to 1 mile an hour. That seems to be about right with these small jigs. The fish will come up. They're pretty aggressive in this stuff. That's basically what they're doing up in these spots, is just kind of hiding out and ambushing food. So your little 16th ounce jig will drop just far enough down where it's kind of riding over the tops of the cabbage, and those fish come right up and eat it. It's a lot of fun. This is an easy way to catch panfish. And you can stop once you find a couple and cast to them, or bobbers if you want to. But trolling is by far the best way to find more fish. You're just covering so much more water. It's the best way to do it, and it's really easy. It doesn't feel too big, but it's another fish. That's a sunfish. You know, in the summertime, these fish, like I was saying, everybody thinks they go deep, and they do, and a lot of the maybe bigger ones do, but there's a lot that stay up here in this 12 to 15 feet, and all they do is they sit in the cabbage weeds. And you can drive around the lake and actually just look over the side of the boat and see cabbage, and you see that cabbage, that big, nice green, big weed cabbage. That's the stuff you want to fish. And pulling these light jigs over top of it is probably the best way to do it. These fish don't spook real easy, and you can cover so much more water by trolling. It up your odds so much of getting a big plate full of nice fish. Get in the weed. All right. Summertime bluegills, summertime crappies, they don't have to be that big of a mystery. Get some nice table-sized sunfish like this, and they're all over, especially around the Perham area out here. There is tons and tons of lakes with great pan fishing in these lakes. And like I said, just go out, find those cabbage. You can look right over the side of the boat, just drive around the lake, look for that cabbage. Get some little twister tails on. You don't even need a trolling motor. It helps if you do have one, but you don't even need it. Let the wind push you across those big flats. You'll have a blast. You'll catch them all day long. They don't seem to ever really shut off. So get out there and try it. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.